Hello, this is Johnny Campbell, the Transition Man here, the 007 of social media change here, the Transition Man. And I'm here with my next video blog message to my groups out there. I want to talk about today about social media marketing as it relates to your business and really as it relates to business marketing here. One of the things that I notice when people are telling me that, well, Johnny, I'm using Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter, YouTube videos and blogs to grow my business. However, things aren't going exactly as I had planned. And so what I started to realize was using the social medias to help grow your business comes down to tracks. In other words, segments. So if you're using social media to build your individual business and help the end user, then it's a B2C situation. But if you are taking your skills, knowledge, and ability and selling it to someone else who will sell it to their end user, then that's B2B social media marketing. So for this video here, I just want to kind of give you a breakdown of the B2B as it relates to social media marketing plan. So when you decide that you're going to use social media to market to another business, the first thing that you've got to get in your head is, which marketplace am I going to participate in? In other words, when you think about marketing here, we're not thinking about the end user. We're thinking about a marketplace. Is it going to be the insurance industry, the financial industry? Is it going to be retail? Is it going to be manufacturing? We have to pick an industry inside of a marketplace. So the first thing is you pick your marketplace, then we pick an industry inside of that marketplace. Once we have an industry inside of that marketplace, the next thing we want to do is look for the professionals inside of there. In other words, we're looking for those professionals inside of that industry. So that's our next step in the process. We've got the marketplace that we're in, then we pick an industry inside that marketplace, then inside that industry we look for certain professions. In other words, if we're inside of the financial industry there and we're thinking about, okay, I am in the overall financial industry, I'm going to move myself down into financial advisors or people who deal in financial services. So that's my industry, financial services. When I'm looking for the professional, I'm looking for the financial advisor. So that's the actual profession that we're looking for. So we now targeted and said, okay, I've got my industry, got my marketplace, got my industry, got my profession now. Once I have my profession, now I think about, well, what issue are these professionals dealing with and coping with that my information can help them with? But even before we can really solve the issue, we have to figure out which social media channels are these particular professionals hanging out in. So next thing is, besides knowing the profession, their issue, you got to figure out what channels they're hanging out in. Are they reading blogs, watching videos? Are they on Twitter? Are they in Facebook? Where are they at? That's your next step, figuring out where they are. Once you figure out where they are, now you start to create the content that they can use to help them service their customers. Notice what I said there. We're creating content that they can use to help deal with their customers or to find more customers or to create more sales or leads. So our content creation is to help them find more of what they're looking for. Now, by doing that, we start to develop this relationship that social media is all about. By developing content that they can use to help their clients, we are helping them, which causes them to buy from us. And that's at the end of the day what it's all about. It's about us generating leads and sales and converting business. So once again, just to kind of give you a quick recap here, when you're in the social media world and you're thinking about business to business marketing, you got to think about the marketplace, then the industry, then the profession, then what that professional's issue is. Then we think about what social channels they're hanging out in and participating in. We create content to serve them, to help them deal with their customer, and that's how we create our opportunity to sell. Once again, my name is Johnny Campbell. I am the 007 of social media change. If you ever have any questions for me, feel free to click on the link and shoot me a note. We can stay in touch. We can talk. But once again, I want to thank you guys for watching the video, and I'll talk to you soon.
I'm Maureen O'Brien. I'm the president of O'Brien & Son, Incorporated in Batavia, and also the president-elect of the National Speakers Association for the state of Illinois. I just heard Johnny Campbell speak, as I've heard many times before, and as usual, he's dead on. He nailed it. If you are looking for somebody to teach your organization or you about social media, don't wait one more minute. Call Johnny Campbell. He's your guy.